Hey YouTube, this is the Redneck Reject again. I'm out here doing a video about gardening. It's going to be a video about the Back to Eden garden versus traditional garden. This is my first year doing the Back to Eden, and I've noticed several differences, so we're going to be going through those. So we're going to see the pros and cons of the Back to Eden garden. So what I'm going to do is show you a Back to Eden garden, a style of garden that is called Back to Eden. So if you'll take a look down here, you'll see plants that are planted. It's wood chips covered with straw, and that's what you're looking at right now. As you can see, there are very few weeds. But what the Back to Eden garden style is it's a no-till garden style where you first you fertilize with manure, what have you, organic compost, then you layer with wood chips, probably 3 to 6 inches, and then you can cover that with the top covering like I've done here with straw. But what happens is as the wood chips break down, they add nutrients and micronutrients to the soil, and also breaks up soil such as I have, which is hard clay soil. It takes a little while for you to see all the advantages, but what I have noticed, there are some immediate advantages to the Back to Eden garden. Alright, so what we have here would be comparable to what I had last year in the garden. It's red clay, hard clay soil. You see, I can't even get my fingers in it. This is what I dealt with all year last year, and weeds everywhere. Weeds come up in this stuff everywhere. So I was hoping with the Back to Eden garden what we could do to remedy this situation for better growing is have the wood chips break down into dark, rich, loose soil. Another problem with this red clay compacted hard soil is you run into this, rots. And when you're trying to plant, these cause all sorts of havoc in the garden. So we're trying to remedy that, and I'm going to give you an honest review so far of what has happened. Okay, so now that we've covered what soil I'm dealing with here, the compacted red clay. Another problem with that clay is that it readily takes in moisture, but it doesn't hold it for more than a day. It rains, the sun comes out, and it dries, and it's cracked and hard, just like you saw earlier. So another thing about this Back to Eden style garden is, let me show you if you pan down here, is the wood chips hold moisture. The straw covers it, provides a weed barrier. Now, some people will tell you that there's no weeds in a Back to Eden garden. That is untrue. There are some weeds, but they're definitely less. If you look right over here, you'll see I haven't done anything with those wood chips, and those are not the wood chips I use for the garden. It's just a border. You see the weeds. So if you do not work with your garden, there will be weeds. I don't care what you do, you have to work. But one of the main advantages I've noticed to this style of gardening so far is this right here. If you move the straw and the wood chips, you saw the dirt was dry, you move the wood chips to the side, you see it starting to blend with the soil, is all that moisture which the plants absolutely love. You could take a look at some of these squash plants, and we've had just a little bit of rain recently, but it's been dry up to that point. So it does regulate the moisture. It keeps a steady current flow of water for the plants, and that is a great advantage over traditional gardening, in my opinion. We've gone through some pros and cons of the Back to Eden garden style. One thing to mention that I have noticed a con, something that has been worse than last year, is actually slugs. I had no slugs in the garden last year. I have noticed a few this year. Apparently through research I found out that slugs do like wood chips, but I have a remedy for that I've been trying. I'll let y'all know how that works out. Eggshells, coarsely crushed eggshells around the base of the plants. Supposedly the slugs don't like eggshells, they get cut or whatnot. But anyway, so far I do like this style of gardening. It seems to be working out. The advantages outweigh the disadvantages of it. The moisture, keeping the plants healthy, the microbial life in the wood chips and soil. I will update and let you know how the wood chips break down and turn into actual really good soil. So we'll see how that turns out. But anyway, I know y'all have other things to do, so get at it.